you I'm not average. Spread butter on a boy like a sandwich. LB on a musical rampage. Been a response for collateral damage. Tell me no response for the weekend producer. Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to Lloyd Brown Music. And on this week's episode of Weekend Producer, I'm going to be answering the second question of two questions that was asked me last episode. But because the first question was answered in a very lengthy manner, I decided to split the episodes in two. So here is the second question that was asked. Let's get into it. And here we have a question from Rami Dread Music, and it pertains to the Young Power Sounds from Yard video that I made a little while ago. And he asks, in the drums folder, there's a loop called Turn It Up Loop 85 BPM. Can you make a video using Sounds from Yard, how to make that drum sequence? I don't want to use the loop. I want to create it, but don't know how. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the laboratory, and yes, I have got one that I've prepared earlier. So with the Turn It Up Loop 85 BPM that Rami Dread basically speaks of, here it is right here at the top track. So I'm just going to play that loop so you can get a gist as to what that loop sounds like. Right, okay, so the reason why he doesn't want to use it, I would hazard a guess and basically say that the reverbs that are on the tracks are more or less baked in. There's no way that the reverb can be taken out of it unless you've got a reverb removal plugin, which is not uncommon, but it's a bit of a hassle to basically do, only to put the echoes or the reverb of your own choice back in it. And I think that will kind of, I don't know, it would just kind of mess up the sound in a way that you don't even want it to happen. So from my estimations, I have created the same loop, as it were, utilizing different drums within the Young Power Sounds from Yard package, and they're from the Everything Drums folder. And I have used the power buff kick. So let me just get into that and just take out everything that I've added to that. So let me just turn off that for a second. So what I did with that was literally just take the sample and basically put it at every first beat and third beat in every bar. So it's first and third beat into bar one, first and third beat on bar two, etc, etc, etc. So let's just reiterate what the loop is again, the original loop. Okay, so this is how the power buff kick sounds like with nothing on it. Okay, so with that other kick, which follows the last kick here of the sequence, all I did was simply take the same drum kick, repeated it, and put it on the 11th beat, basically from the fourth bar, and turned it down. That's all I did with that. No major processing there. All right, so let's get back to it again. Refamiliarize ourselves with it. Okay, right, so next up, I chose the Rusty Snare. Here we go. And that's pretty much that all the way through, all right? Okay, so what I've done with the snare, I put it on the fourth beat and the 13th beat of every bar, all right? So you got 1-4, 1-13, 2-4, 2-13, and etc, etc. So it'd be 3-4, and 313. All right, so let's go into the hi-hat. So here we have the hi-hat. All I did with the hi-hat was simply to roll off some low end and put a little bit of emphasis on the high end to give the hi-hat its distinctive frequency across the drum kit. All right, so here we go. Okay, so as well as that, I've got the open hi-hat as well, which I basically done the same thing, almost the same settings, but not quite, because the open hi-hat's got like a slightly different register to the normal hi-hat hit, so I tried to make that different. Okay, so utilizing both of those, we have this. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. That's on every bar between the first bar and the second bar. Once again, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. All right, and it's the same across every bar until you get to the point where it's utilizing an open hi-hat. With this open hi-hat, you replace the 15th beat closed hi-hat with a 15th beat open hi-hat, and sometimes the sample is longer than you need it to be, but in order for it to make sense, you always got to let the open hi-hat meet where the next closed hi-hat begins. It will give the illusion of the same hi-hat being played in two different ways in two different places, if that makes any sense. Because if you have the open hi-hat, this is what you're going to basically have. You're just going to have, right? You're just going to have it ringing into the next one. You don't want that. All right, this is what you want. See, so it's much cleaner, much cleaner. All right, in summary, with the hi-hats, we have got this. Okay, I've got a little bit of a production trick that you can utilize as well. All right, so say for example, I want to use a double hi-hat hit, if that makes any sense, like a ghost hi-hat hit. So instead of, a good trick to use would actually be, depending on the DAW you're using, all right? So let's just say between the first bar and the second bar, I want to put a ghost hi-hat note there. So I want to put it between the 7th and the 9th beat. All I need to do is just copy that, all right, into the 8th beat, turn it down, all right, so we have this as a result. Okay, but to give it more of a variety is to actually transpose that ghost hit to maybe 2 semitones. All right, so you go back, play it again. Yeah, so you notice that it doesn't sound the same as the other corresponding hi-hats that you got there. Or we can transpose it 1 semitone. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. All right, so we can take that and copy it now and put it in any position in the hi-hat section. Okay, let's go for another set here. I can put that somewhere else, put that there as well. I try to put it in odd places so it doesn't have too much of a regimented sound. Okay, so it's got ghost notes in the first 3 bars, but it doesn't have any ghost notes in the 4th bar, simply because you've got the ghost kick note there as well. So when you play those two, so with that, I decided to basically put a little sprinkling of some instrumentation on it. But before I get into that, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add some processing to it. So let's just re-familiarize ourselves with the original loop that we had before. Okay, so I'm going to take off that and put on the other one, and I'm going to play that section, but in a Lloyd Brown style. Here we go. Okay, so just to recap, at the positioning of each sample, so with the kick is the 1st and the 8th beat of every bar, of the snare is the 5th and the 9th of every bar, with the hi-hat is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. With the ghost notes, you simply copy the same hi-hat in between the 2 hi-hats where you want the ghost note to be. You turn it down and transpose it probably 1 semitone. I don't think you need any more than that, and you have that effect. And then for the open hi-hat, you simply replace the 15th note hi-hat with the open hi-hat, and always cut the sample where it meets the hi-hat on the next bar, or wherever the next hi-hat is placed within the section. That's all it is. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. The reason why I didn't put too many ghost notes, the reason why I didn't put as much ghost notes in my piece as in the original is that you can put the ghost notes where you want to taste. You don't have to have it exactly the same as the turn it up loop. All right, so just kind of left the space there open for you and for your imagination. All right, so with that, what I decided to do, I decided to put some instrumentation on it. And what I used one of my favorite bass plugin, Martinic Key Bass, that BS there, but also Hallian Sonic. And what I used in there, I used the muted guitar. All right, so let's come out of that. And I used a plugin, a very quirky plugin called Bold, which costs $9, which consists of different sounds. So you got synth sounds, you've got vocal sounds, you've got bass and more synth sounds, you've got effects and things like that. And what I did was that I picked certain sounds, I either transposed them or put bits of effects on them, and I rendered them in place. So I made them audio files, all right? Just to kind of commit to the piece, all right? So that's all I've got in there. So let's hear with the drum pattern what we got. We got this. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I created my own loop matching the syncopation with the turn it up loop at 85 BPM. Hope you've enjoyed it. Back to the studio. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to copy an unwanted loop, essentially. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. If you've learned something, you know what to do, you know the coup. Smack the like button, notification bell, all that stuff, all right? Sadly, I got to tell you that this episode is going to be the last episode of the current series of Weekend Producer. That being said, I will be posting up future content, not necessarily linked to the Weekend Producer series, because I've got a lot of work to be getting on with. And talking about work, let's just kind of put in summary what was done from January the 1st, 2021 till this time of recording. So let's see. I recorded and released the Untitled album. I recorded some remixes and released the Untitled Digital Deluxe edition. Also released the single from the delightful Rafeelya entitled Human Condition. And I've also reissued the Brown and Bubblers album, which is now available for general release. And I will be releasing a single from that album. In fact, it's a double single and it's entitled Thankful and also Hold On Tight. So I think that's enough for you to be getting on with right now for 2021. I will be putting up other videos, but I won't be sticking to the schedule of Weekend Producer for a little while. And obviously I need a break as well. I'm gonna put the links for all of those albums and all of those singles in the description box below. So check them out. And if you like them, if you like the vibe of them, please purchase them. That way you'll be helping supporting the channel and supporting future content that comes out on this channel. All right, so it's with that, I'm gonna bid you guys adieu for now. And as always, you don't know the coup, people, please abstain from all kind of foolishness, even your own, even my own. And until we link up next time, in yet another exciting installment of Lloyd Brown Music, stay blessed. I'm out of here. Maganski. Laters. Weekend Producer.